has. What does that mean for property? In our opinion, stay tuned.
Good morning.
What do you reckon, Billy? The answer.
I am, to be honest, just glad it's over. I was never really invested with my heart, but it was a strange sort of Saturday afternoon having my first voting experience.
It all came to an end real fast. They were lining up on the side of highways every 10 metres for kilometres. They were doing everything we could bloody think of to get a vote.
Guerrilla marketing at its best, and now it's over. It'll be interesting to see how quickly all the signs come down.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what, guys? This is a live show. I would love to know your opinion. We would love to know your opinion. Put your comments in here. What does it mean for property? What is going to happen to the property under Labor leadership? Is it going to change that much? Is it going to violently be better for property, worse for property? I'd love to know your thoughts this morning. This is a huge topic.
It's a bit of a scary one because on Saturday, everyone was so nervous to kind of speak what they actually thought.
Well, we did that. We did a reel in the office. We interviewed about 10, 15 people and said, who you're voting for. Majority of people just went, blah, 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 nothing. Wouldn't say anything.
It's true. And, even at the voting station, I'm looking around and people are looking nervous. People look like they're going to break into tears.
You know what? I know my daughter's boyfriend enjoyed the experience. He actually... where my daughter was in and out of the polls within 2 minutes, he stayed there for about half an hour, walked around and chatted with everyone and asked genuine questions.
Yeah, that's the best. Because
people just enjoyed the process.
I think even Michael in our office enjoyed it a little bit too much.
It's funny. So, mate, what do you reckon? What's going to happen with property? So these guys are going to be in places at 3 or 4 years or something. Is it is the economy going to be okay? Is property going to be lucky like it has been lately? Why do agents keep their signs up after the sale, but everyone wants the candidates to take them down?
That is a very good question.
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah, interesting. What's going to happen?
I think the answer is, right, like, it doesn't really matter. What was the phrase you used just before, Mark, off air?
Same horse, different jockey.
Same horse, different jockey. The job's going to get done regardless, right? So I guess if you look into it, with a microscope, there's going to be different policies in place, and that will, be a slightly different take on how they approach the job. But realistically, we were talking off air, there's a lot of other bodies that look over what's being done. It's not just one guy calling the shots. And then we're going to do a little bit of a comparison for you.
Yeah, it's interesting. Look, I think, I think people can't forget equity comes with clean hands, and we all sort of, even though we all may think we want different things, we're all building in equity into our lives with not just property, but with family and health and housing and economy and hospitals and roads and all that sort of stuff. And I think at heart, even though these guys have their point of differences, I think at heart, everyone wants the place to be a better place. and they're all going to strive for whatever that interpretation is. But it's still a better place. Do you know what I mean? So everyone's still going to have a fair go at making it better. And there's like the cabinets are full of and are unchanged of so many people that have been in the political system for 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. They don't get ousted and have no job if they're, for instance, Liberal. So a lot of those guys and girls are hanging around, making it a better place as politicians. Yes, the jockeys change, but my opinion on property is it's a pretty big thing to move and to change. Like it's a pretty. Do you know what I mean? It can't violently change in one direction or the other. It's just going to keep on ticking. Now, historically it levels out. Historically it booms. Historically it levels out. There are slight corrections we see in the market, which we've already seen under a Liberal government. So, I think it's just more of the same. And this is going back like 50 to 100 years.
Yeah. Shall I put a share screen in now, Mark? I think now's the time.
Yeah. Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring.
It's pretty.
So we've got.
Can you zoom up on that a little bit more? Look at that. What's the headline?
Real estate and politicians. Mark, who's better looking? Real estate or agents or politicians? Maybe that's why the signboard's left up.
Real estate agents. I do have to share something. I've been to some political party functions, and I've been to some real estate agent functions. The partners of real estate agents are often much better looking.
But they do come from slightly different backgrounds. Without getting into it too much, but there's the two leaders. Next slide.
What is that? Oh yeah. This is controversial. Zoom up on that one.
This is interesting. So 205 federal politicians own 421 homes, an average of 2.05 homes each. That's a lot.
Under what is that Labor or Liberal?
No, that's total. 205 federal politicians. That was.
Well, I guess you could say politicians like property in that case.
Politicians love property.
Give us the lowdown.
When it comes to Liberal and national parties, 100 coalition owned 209 homes. So that's an average of 2.09, slightly higher than the average. And 84 Labor politicians own 182 homes, an average of 2.16. That's crazy.
So the appetite for a second home or for property is greater with Labor, an average Labor politician, than an average Liberal politician. If this means anything, it's interesting.
Did we find out what an average Australian owns, Mark?
7%. No, but I know that 7% of Australians own a second property.
There you go.
So these guys are fairly well heeled.
Does that go to show, whoever is in power, whoever's in running the show here, there's a great appetite for property. And are you ever going to do something to hurt your own pocket in a way? Whether it's through policies or.
Well, spot on. And again, it goes back to that saying equity comes with clean hands. You know what I mean? These guys are property people. They have an appetite for property. And I know we are a property show, so this morning is dedicated to labours in what does that mean for property. I love everyone's comments live today to see what you think. But, mate, I think we're right. I think we may even see that it appears that more Labor politicians own property than Liberal politicians. I don't think they're going to hurt their pockets, like you said, Billy.
Yeah, that's what the numbers are showing. And
I've got a question here from David.
Do you think housing supplies will increase rapidly? Question for you, Mark.
I think we're in that cycle. I think we're in that part of the cycle. If you go back to our social media tiles, there is a property cycle, a beautiful circle in there. And if you look at that property cycle, that's where we are in the property cycle. So, yes, we will start seeing more properties coming onto the market, which will affect housing.
Luke reckons not much will change with Labor. It's more about the RBA. It's a fair point, and that's what goes back to. There's plenty of other factors involved here. It's not just who's.
Plenty of other people, plenty of other factors. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then our last slide. Compared to the general population, where only around 20% of people own 2 or more homes, our federal politicians are ahead of the game. So 96.6 are homeowners, 50% active landlords, and 65 own 2 properties or more, 65%.
Sounds big.
Big numbers.
Come back, Billy. Come back. Get rid of those tiles. There you go. Finish. So, in summary, guys, don't know where you've taken this information and your interpretation today is of what we've spoken about. Certainly, mine is we're going to be okay either way, or even more so, we may even be better off over the next 4 years. But I'd love to bring this show back in 4 years' time and see.
Yeah. I wonder what episode number will be on then.
4 years' time, we'll probably be on 1,500, I reckon.
It's true, though. And how did this compare 4 years ago last time, Mark? Was it the same conversation?
Yeah, look, we had Labor in a couple of cycles ago, and again we just sort of hummed along. So, look, I think if we can go through what we've gone through the last 2 years, government. So I think we could actually do really well from this government, and I think the upside is potentially great, and I think the downside's potentially not. It's not really that bad either, because these guys have. We don't want to hurt our biggest asset in the country. As Australians, is the property market. It's where we hold most of our wealth as Australians. So I think all politicians in all government, in both sides of the government, are really careful about it affecting Australians that way.
Well said. That's a wrap.
That's a wrap, and have a great day, Billy. What's on this week, or what did you do on the weekend? More importantly,
I had a quiet weekend and spent time with the family over a good Indian last night. Nice meal. And Mark Novak?
Relaxed. So we are moving home, and we had our last weekend in our home of 15 years, and so we just enjoyed it and chilled out a little bit, packed some boxes, which at least was very good at. Whipping me into line to do that, and exciting week.
It's a big week. Enjoy it.
Yeah, we've got one more comment from David. Now that Australians have spoken, let's hope for the best and wish we will all do well going forward. Absolutely. You know what? Head down, bum up. You work hard. Everything's going to be okay. Look after yourself.
Party on. Ciao
Party
for now.
on. Cheers. Bye-bye.